One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken, he rides up to his ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Wow, we all made it to a, nice little Friday morning. Great to see everyone in the chat, man. We all magically survived. Somehow, some way, we've got the will. Listen, we have, as you guys know, first of all, happy Halloween to everybody. Hopefully you're all enjoying your morning so far and will enjoy the rest of your day, of course. As you guys know, it's day 31 of the government shutdown, as it's October 31st. Nationwide flight delays as well. We have some Snap latest, as well as we're going to try to get into some Melissa recovery. There's not too much actually to report on Melissa that much yet, but there will be. So anyways, and I have more, of course I do that, but we're going to see a couple of things that happened yesterday, such as the government shutdown from Jeffries remarks on Capitol Hill, which is the fake Obama Timu Obama over there for the left. We're going to hear them first. Then we have President Trump and First Lady host Halloween event at White House. And yes, we're going to see for 5 seconds Trump handing out for some candies to the kids over there at the White House, which is historically done for Halloween. And then we have Prop 50 explained, which is over there in California for the special election. We're going to go ahead and talk about that a little bit here in a bit. And then we have another thing that happened last night, late last night. Trump to cut tariffs on China after meeting with Xi Jinping, as you guys know, went from 57% down to 47%. But it sounds like they have some new stuff that they want to talk about, so we're going to talk about it, of course. National Guard preparing for unrest, training rapid response force. And they're specifically also talking about the unrest because of, and we have a lot of states right now that are in states of emergency because of the whole SNAP benefits thing that's going on right now, as you guys already know, and we've talked about. Trump orders nuclear weapons testing following Russian missile tests. Now, I think we may even have some video footage of it. But I don't think so. But it would be really nice if they did. It would be pretty damn cool. But of course, they're going to have some expert, I'm sure, to talk about it. And then just as of 2 hours ago, we have an update regarding the shutdown delaying flights nationwide. 15 injured in JetBlue emergency landing as well. Kind of like a side note, 15 injured in JetBlue emergency landing. That's terrible. But before we get into this morning, make sure you guys come in and hit the like button. It helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. If you guys are brand new to the channel, hitting that subscribe is also free. But please consider becoming a member. Here's the money part. Starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what keeps the lights on, what keeps us on the airwaves. We very much appreciate your contributions to the channel. Little side note, follow my Instagram right here at BallVolveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show and Millennial Food Time. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. We also have a Discord server, which I have the majority of you guys in right now, but we got to get like the 2 or 3% of you guys that are not in there. Get the fuck in there, man. Seriously. And then last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted membership signups are of course going to be presented live onto the show and shouted out. But if you guys would like to skip your, listen, these guys take 30% fucking of your super chats, and then Apple also takes 30% if you're doing it from an Apple device. Now, I heard that there is some sort of lawsuit going on right now about that, so I'm not really too sure how that's breaking out right this second, but I still think that they are breaking at 30, and I guess it would be 50%. Yeah, or 40%. Anyways, fucking, it sucks, bro. Anyways, but we have these platforms right here you guys can donate to, and of course, I will read it out loud like as if it is a super chat, of course. I have the email up right now. So anyways, let's go ahead and get right into it. We got K2 Keep On Trucking coming in with the $5, man, saying you're going to play the video of Shane O'Brien with Duffy and JD Vance. Well, hey, K2, thank you for the $5. I probably will, K2. You may be onto something. Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Always appreciate your contributions and hanging out with us in the chat, man. We got Heather Moe in the building, as well as Prez. Good morning to you guys. We got Gary as well as Steve Easy. Yes, sir. Great to see you guys. We got Naomi saying, hit the like. Absolutely. And good morning to you. We got Zip Tie as well. Great to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Rabbit of Chaos. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this morning. We got Mountain Woman. Yes. Hello again. Yes, I did make an appearance on Sick Bastard and Carney's panel this early morning. So K2 says, I don't answer polls. You don't have to. It's not forced. Not forced, homie. You ain't got to worry about it. We got Pablo in the building. Shout out to Pablo. Good morning. Great to see you. We are scrolling our way down, making sure we are catching up. We got Carney's Ride saying, good morning, Mike, Naomi, and the Breakfast Club. Yes, sir. We got Sterling Wheel. Also appreciate you, kind sir. Another valued member of the, as he says to me, that's why I'm saying it, as a valued member of the channel. Remember that time Trump said that he would stop the Ukraine war by telephone in 24 hours. Pepperidge Farms remembers until SNAP benefits invalid. Yeah, no kidding, bro. Great to see you, and great way to put it. And yes, Zip Tie, help support the show. Yes. Very much appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. We have a little bit of a morning here. We got to get through some lefty prattle, of course. We're not going to play the whole thing, but we got to give them their limelight here.
Our position is the same position that we've had in September, the position that we've held throughout the 30-day Trump Republican shutdown in October, and it's going to be the same position that we have in November.
Yesterday, you said that what team would meet to discuss congressional.
So this is only specifically questions? They must have cut this. They must have cut the first half, and then they only put up the questions. Interesting.
A week or so ago that the caucus also was going to discuss the topic.
What's up, Joseph? Good morning.
The day that the checks go out, right?
Checks go out. Checks would ordinarily go out for members of Congress on November 1st. And it's an individual decision that everyone is going to have to make in terms of their own circumstances. And, individual members will make those decisions and then communicate with their constituents, as I plan to do when I'm back home in Brooklyn.
So you'll make that decision on November 1st. You'll make it clear what you're doing.
On or before November 1st, I'll make it clear to my constituents back home in Brooklyn what I plan to do. Thanks.
Jesus. This guy sucks, bro.
Some deliverables from his meeting with President Xi, including, a resumption of large purchases of USD soybeans from China, crackdown on fentanyl shipments from China. The Trump administration said that they would reduce some tariffs.
Shit, did Heather say that we got Mount High up in the building? Shout out to Mount High if he's in here. I didn't. Oh, yes, he is. Man, thank you for saying that, because I magically missed that. What's up, Mount High? Great to see you in the chat. We got chatting with Stacks as well. Good morning to you. Great to see you both. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Asia,
this is some scary shit.
Final days of the month leading up to the SNAP cliff and the ACA open enrollment have you had a chance to look at the agreement, and do you think that the deliverables that the Trump administration said that they were able to get to China
Congress
justified or was worth the president being out of the country in these final days of?
Oh my God! Can this rambling fucking gay just get it over with?
Why are you gay?
Come on, bro.
SNAP benefits about to expire, the ACA open enrollment starting without a resolution. How are you squaring those deliverables, that agreement, with the fact that the president was gone for these critical days?
What's
It
up,
appears to most
Tariffs?
reasonable observers that Donald Trump was punked on the world stage by the Chinese Communist Party. The notion that Donald Trump has created all of this trouble for the American people, which he has, the Trump tariffs are raising costs on everyday Americans by thousands of dollars per year. And earlier today, I also met with some small business owners and entrepreneurs who made clear to me in very real terms that the Trump tariffs are going to force many of them to shutter their businesses and abandon their dreams. Donald Trump created this massive inferno that's spreading all across the country and now wants to pretend as if he's a firefighter by putting out the damage that he has created and returning to what? A status quo when you've already increased the expensiveness of life on so many working class Americans and are forcing in real time farmers and small business owners and entrepreneurs to close their businesses. It was all a show as far as we can tell. And the only thing that will change my opinion on that is if everyday Americans start to actually see a change in their quality of life, which no one has experienced.
Yeah, because we're in hyperinflation. Yeah, that's why. Let me just cut to the chase here. We're in hyperinflation. That's why fucking everything is so expensive and the dollar's getting weaker and weaker day by day. That's what it is.
In a positive direction.
And these assholes just want to continue printing money. It's like, are you fucking serious right now? It should be, right now, it'd be so fucking cool somehow, some way to put make it illegal to fucking print money right now. Like an executive order. Trump comes in, we can't print any more money. Boom. You know what I mean? But these guys it would never happen.
The beginning of the Trump.
until our dollar is worth nothing and then the reset happens.
Presidency. This is a president who repeatedly promised on the campaign trail that costs would go down.
And I agree with you, K2, saying for $2, saying take away non-docile CDLs. Yes, I absolutely agree, bro. All these people that are illegal in our country that are gaining fucking CDL licenses, which back then they didn't even allow you to have a fucking driver's license, let alone now fucking CDLs and shit. It's fucking crazy. But hey, K2, I very much appreciate you, kind sir, for the $2, man.
Costs haven't gone down. Costs continue to go up. Childcare costs up. Housing costs up. Electricity bills through the roof. Grocery costs up. Price of coffee out of control. And most importantly, in this moment, healthcare premiums about to dramatically skyrocket because of the Republicans' continued refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
See, and they're not. It's hilarious because that's not necessarily completely off the fucking table for Republicans, which is hilarious. But you guys like to conflate shit over there on the left. They love conflating shit and making it seem like, oh, it's this that they're. No, the fuck are you talking about? I don't think anybody is wanting any type of premiums or medical or any of that shit to go up. Nobody.
Policies are doing violence to the American people. That's the message that we heard from clergy members who were here on Capitol Hill from all across the country, particularly in the Deep South, earlier today. Policy violence coming from Republicans attacking the health care and the nutritional benefits of the American people. Thanks.
I want to get your reaction to the apparent redistricting deal that was struck in Ohio. Does this help your efforts to retake the House?
I haven't had a chance.
Real quick, we got SST up in the building. Shout out to SST. Hopefully you're enjoying your Halloween morning.
To review it.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. As of today, both Delta and United Airlines have called for Congress to pass a clean CR. Is it now incumbent on Democrats to pass this CR and get these?
Yes, the answer would be yes. The Republicans used the exact same CR from last year. I mean, it's the exact same fucking thing. They didn't ask for anything. So, yeah, it's on to you guys now.
Traffic controllers paid who are.
Yes, it is. This is your responsibility. Those air traffic controllers that aren't getting fucking, all the federal employees that are getting either laid off or fucking not missing paychecks, all this shit. Yes, that is your side. Yes.
Foreclosures, and that's impacting other Americans as well.
And you're obligated.
Is it your suggestion that the partisan Republican spending bill that has now been voted down by the Senate 13 different times, that guts the health care of the American people?
This is so embarrassing. This is really embarrassing, bro.
Is a so-called clean continuing resolution?
Oh my fucking God. It was a clean CR. There was nothing else. The triple B got passed through Congress, okay? The big beautiful bill. That has nothing to do with a new CR. This fucking guy, man.
It is already a bipartisan CR, as it has some Democrats and independent that's voting for it, and it is an extension of those Biden funding levels, and we're just seeing these impacts and build up.
There's been bipartisan opposition to the partisan Republican spending bill in both the House and in the Senate. And that bipartisan opposition in the Senate has continued 13 different times. Republicans hold press conferences every day, and you know what they do? They lie to the American people. These people are stone cold extremist liars, starting from the very top. And they haven't spoken a word of truth to the American people other than what Mike Johnson admitted today, which is that they want to rip away SNAP benefits from 42 million Americans so they can pressure Democrats to continue Republican policies that would gut the health care of the American people. No thanks. We're not going to do it. And so I appreciate people from throughout corporate America urging the Congress to pass a bipartisan spending agreement.
He's thinking so hard on what he's going to say. Those pauses are actually longer than you think because we're on 1.25 playback speed right now. So he's really sitting there really being careful of his words right now.
Over the last 30 days,
he needs to be able to lie.
We've said the same thing over and over and over again. We'll sit down with Republicans anytime, any place, anywhere.
I'd do it.
In order to reopen the government.
Listen, I would never back down, bro. I would never back down, ever.
And act a spending agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people. That's been our criteria from the very beginning. A spending agreement that is bipartisan and that makes life better for everyday Americans in terms of their health, public safety, and their economic well-being, which means driving down the high cost of living in the United States of America, which Donald Trump and Republicans have made worse.
What's up, Crystal? Great to see you. This guy is such cap. Oh, my God.
Stop the cap.
The amount of emotional damage and cope is unreal.
Emotional damage.
Feels ultra bad, dude.
Denied.
Life is more expensive, and the overwhelming majority of everyday Americans know that the country is moving in the wrong direction. That's also why we're going to see.
Good morning, Tiffany. Great to see you, and happy Halloween to you guys.
The American people reject extremist Republicans and their policies on Election Day next Tuesday. I'm sorry. First row, yeah. I'll get to you next.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. First, have you seen any data on how this pension and food assistance program was made effective in parts of the country? And if so, is that at all affecting your decision, your political calculus here?
There is no political calculus for us. We are fighting this battle, not for partisan reasons, but because we're trying to lift up the quality of life of the American people. And the American people understand that there's a Republican healthcare crisis. The American people understand that Republicans have ripped away Medicaid from 14 million.
This fucking guy is such I can't believe he just lies. Okay, fuck this guy. Over it. What a fucking liar. I can't stand these people. They are the worst people ever. All right, let's go and just go over here. We're going to check out for just a couple of seconds. We're going to speed it up. We're not going to really pay attention here a lot here, but we'll get a little bit. We'll just see. Trump is, that was, the first couple. They just opened the lineup. The press is rolling. All the kids are coming through. And, Trump does this classic fucking move that he did on his first term where he laid a candy, big-ass candy bar on top of some big-ass kid's, costume, because these big costumes, that they're inside of something, right? They're inside of like a like one of those, what do they call them, minions and shit, whatever. And like he'll sit a fucking full candy bar on top of their head and shit. It's fucking hilarious. And then they have to walk away. And it's not like Trump goes, okay, I'm just joking. Here it is. No, he's like, nah, walk off with that shit. It's pretty funny. Anyways, so that happened yesterday evening. And now let's go ahead and bring up Prop 50 explained over there for California's special election.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox 820 on the East Coast and 520 on the West Coast. Taking a live look here at the San Francisco Bay. This is over in California. One of many live images that we do have coming in from that area. I believe this one right here is out of Bakersfield. We do have all of these cameras across the country and the world, so we always...
Bakersfield. What the armpit of the fucking entire world is right there. I mean, there's probably places in fucking like Saudi Arabia that are way nicer. You know what I mean? Like, dude, Bakersfield is miserable.
Like to showcase those. But that does take us to our next story out of California, where voting ends Tuesday on Prop 50, which would create partisan U.S. House maps outside of normal once a decade redistricting handled by an independent commission. So what does that mean exactly? I do want to bring in Maya C. Miller, political reporter over at Cal Matters, to help explain. Maya, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And first off, like I said, a lot of folks have heard this information and they're trying to piece together exactly what it means. So can you...
She's a political reporter. I would think that she's like some analyst for some IT companies or something. You know what I mean?
Explain Prop 50, what it is and what it does.
Sure. So Prop 50 really represents Governor Gavin Newsom's foray into these redistricting wars that President Donald Trump and Republicans started over the summer. At the heart of this redistricting fight is which party controls Congress for the last 2 years of Donald Trump's presidency.
What? Is this like a weird way around of gerrymandering, and you can only gerrymander? Like what's the get down here? I don't get it.
The president is understandably nervous that his agenda could be hamstrung if his party loses the House, and the party out of power tends to fare better in midterm elections. So the Democrats would have, following that logic, the Democrats would have the upper hand. And Democrats were outraged when the news broke that the president had told Texas Governor Greg Abbott to basically find him 5 more Republican seats in Texas. So Governor Newsom of California decided that California needed to fight back. And so Proposition 50 would temporarily suspend the maps drawn by this independent citizens commission.
Are you serious? So it would just say we're overriding the decision of the gerrymander? Are you serious? What?
California has. The voters chose to take the map drawing powers away from the state legislature and put them in the hands of this independent, nonpartisan commission of citizens. And back in 2008 and 2010, those were ballot measures that the people of California voted on. So instead, California would temporarily use a set of congressional maps that had been gerrymandered to favor Democrats. And those would be used for the next 5 years.
Wow. This is some crazy shit. And guess what? Californians will fucking eat this shit up and they will fucking pass it.
Till 2030, after the 2030 census, when the Independent Redistricting Commission would draw them out.
Just so you guys know, on propositions, voting, I'm going to give you guys a little sauce, you know what I mean? Little game. Okay. So when you're at the voting poll, whatever you're voting for a proposition, for anything, it doesn't matter. If you're voting to change the law and you don't know what that law exactly is, exactly what they're doing, it's an automatic no. Just so you know, it's an automatic no vote. Unless you absolutely know you don't vote to change the law willy-nilly. You don't do that. If you don't fully understand what it reads, it's an automatic no. Even if it sounds nice and all that shit, no. It's an automatic no. That's it, so... If you don't know exactly what it is, just resort to no.
Again.
What are supporters saying about this versus what are those who are against this having to say as for their reasoning for being against it?
Yeah, so many Democrats feel that California needs
What's up, Sunflower? Great to see you in the chat.
Fight back against Republican gerrymanders in red states like Texas, as I mentioned, or Missouri and North Carolina are the 2 most recent states to announce that they have redistricted as well. Supporters of Proposition 50 say President Trump and Republicans are really trying to, quote unquote, rig the 2026 midterms because they're scared that Democrats will win control of the House and therefore halt the president's agenda. But on the other side, on the no side, there are still some Republicans and some Democrats who argue that these new maps really are exactly what California's Independent Redistricting Commission was designed to eliminate. So gerrymandered districts that are drawn to suit a lawmaker's needs and interests rather than those of their constituents.
Why would you say that maybe other
now I know who it is.
States are paying close attention to what does happen there on Tuesday in California?
So California is the only state so far that has to put its redistricting plan on the ballot in front of voters. And it's also the only Democratic state to attempt a counter move against some of these GOP redistricting efforts in red states. So really all eyes are on California as Democrats try to halt the mid-decade redistricting wars. And at the same time, there are only a couple of consequential off-year elections this year. California's Proposition 50 being one of them, another being the gubernatorial race in New Jersey. There's one in.
So there's a whole bunch of people that are trying to do this type of fuck. It's not just California that's wanting to do this. Like New Jersey wants to do this kind of shit. Are you serious? I don't know. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so yesterday we talked about how China, regards to, the tariffs after the meeting in South Korea with Trump and Xi Jinping, they agreed to bringing the tariffs down by 10%. So it was at 57%, and now it's been dropped down to 47%. Now, I'm not sure why they're reiterating this on this special story, so let's go ahead and bring up and see if they have any new shit that we can talk about here, but probably not. We'll see.
President Trump pumping his fist and mouthing thank you as he returns to Washington after a whirlwind tour of Asia and a high-stakes meeting with China's Xi Jinping.
I thought it was an amazing meeting. He's a great leader.
Aboard Air Force One, the president announced Beijing will work to stop the flow of fentanyl in exchange for a 10% cut of U.S. tariffs on Chinese imports.
I think you can see.
What's up, Kellen, Canada? Good morning and great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying your, Halloween morning. All of you guys. Great to see you guys in the chat. We got Hardwire as well. Good morning, homie. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well. And yeah, no kidding. I heard that, Hardwire.
It's a real action taken.
China also agreed to buy 12 million metric tons of soybeans through the end of the year, 25 million each year.
This is part of the deal, the soybean exchange that China will be buying from us now.
Through 2028. But farmers are cautious.
This isn't cash on the barrelhead. The soybeans haven't been delivered yet.
Beijing also announced it will pause export limits on rare earth minerals for a year. But there were no major breakthroughs to stop China from stealing U.S. intellectual property. No discussions about the future of TikTok or Taiwan. And despite a lengthy talk about Ukraine, the president did not pressure Xi to stop buying Russian oil.
We just got working.
Yeah, that's very interesting that he didn't put the pressure on there. But he knows the powerhouse that China is.
Together to see if we could get that or finished.
Trump did tease on.
So he's doing this step by step, which I can actually appreciate. Like, hey, well, let's get this fucking figured out, and then we can worry about the whole, China buying Russian oil. We'll bring that up here in a bit.
On Truth Social, a potential energy deal where China may make a large-scale transaction of oil and gas from Alaska. Some economic experts call the meeting a truce, a departure from the Phase 1 deal in 2020, from which China walked away when Joe Biden took office. Although Beijing wasn't on track to meet its obligation even if Trump stayed.
This is a de-escalation for sure. It lets both sides claim victory.
And President Trump says plans are already underway for him to go to China as early as April, and then plans will be in motion to have Xi come to the United States, and that visit could happen either here at the White House or even at Mar-a-Lago in Florida.
Oh, shit.
At the White House, I'm Aisha Husney, Fox News.
Damn, that's pretty badass, actually. Let me see what they bring up here. I do want to see this part.
President Trump and President Xi together, the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, sending this out. Of course, we continue to track the latest on this deal. There's a lot to follow. We tried to sum it up.
Okay, here's the summary of the deal.
A couple of bullet points for you here. The U.S. is going to lower tariffs on Chinese imports from 57 to 47%. Tariffs tied to fentanyl are going to be reduced from 20 to 10%. China,
just so you guys know, medical fentanyl.
Agreeing to allow exports of rare earth minerals. China is agreeing to start buying U.S. soybeans. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying that China has approved a TikTok deal as well. And Trump says he will visit China in April. President Xi to visit the U.S. soon after, he says. A live look at the White House where it's just about 10 o'clock on the nose.
All right, so that was 10 o'clock last night. Now, sometime around the same time last night, this came out, National Guard preparing for unrest, training rapid response force. Now, I'm guessing this has to be related to tomorrow's ordeal, meaning that it's November 1st. People that are going, I don't know if people on Snap get paid on the 1st, but I think they probably get paid somewhere in the middle of the month. But nonetheless, November benefits for them are not going to be showing up. So I guess the National Guard is preparing in some sort of capacity here. Let's figure out what's happening.
All right. Our coverage continuing of the Trump administration's policies. A live look at the White House, where it's 10:25 in the nation's capital. One thing I was tracking overnight is this news about the National Guard. They say they're planning to train hundreds of troops in all 50 U.S. states in order to be part of something called a rapid response force. It's going to focus on civil disturbance missions by the start of next year. That's according to two U.S. officials who spoke with Reuters about it this week. This, of course, comes as President Trump has increasingly embraced using the military to support his domestic agenda, including deploying troops to cities like Los Angeles, Portland, Oregon, and Washington, D.C. Quick reaction forces. A lot of questions, a lot of people online asking us what exactly that means. Retired Marine intelligence officer.
So, Lappy, the best way that I think that I can summarize it is it's forcing businesses to come back to the United States. Now, are we going to see an immediate difference? No. But what we have seen is amazing trade deals become of it. Middle East deals were kind of a little bit separate, but he's done a lot of investment in bringing these different corporations, different people back into the United States and doing business, wanting to invest in the United States. And so, yes, there have been hundreds and hundreds of billions hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars that have been raised for infrastructure and all that kind of shit for new warehouses or whatever the case is, new headquarters for these different companies. So yes, we'll see it in the long term of 5, 10, 15 years. But that's on that level. So that's what, the tariffs are a little bit unique in the aspect of it was our way to be able to fight back, one, and two, bring back companies here.
Mr. National Security Analyst and host of the Strap podcast, Hal Kemper, is here. Hal, given that each state's guard force is already, from my understanding,
good morning, Lappy,
quick response capabilities for emergencies and other things of that sort, what's changing given the new guidance that's being reported on?
Austin, when this first came out, I had to look at it and I go, is this really something new, or are we just kind of renaming what we already have? The National Guard already has what are called National Guard reaction forces, not quick reaction, but reaction forces. With that said, in the National Guard Bureau's description, it talks about quick response, and as part of what they do, along with dealing with civil unrest. And at the Center of Domestic Preparedness, National Guard units undergo a 2-week program of instruction that trains them to do kind of what this unit is actually asked to do. So all of the stuff, all the components are already kind of there already. Now, within each of the 10 regions, the FEMA regions, that's federal.
Yeah, and I guess that is also very true. But you wouldn't even need an executive order for any of it because all another president has to do, in theory, is just come in and up the fucking the tariffs on these countries for no, let's say they could just do that, So, yeah, I mean, it all can be overturned, I guess.
FEMA regions across the United States. There's also something the National Guard has called Homeland Response Forces, HRFs, or HRFs, or HRFs, as they call them. I've worked with HRFs pretty much since the HRFs were originally designed in a variety of exercises all over the country. And they do consequence management. Primarily, we're set up to deal with something dealing in the weapons of mass destruction realm, what we call CBRNE, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, high-yield explosive type events, although they can be used for other things as well. So those are out there as another force. Those are already embedded. So you have 10 FEMA region things. You have all the states and the 4 territories have their forces. And then, of course, there's also a special MP battalion.
So it's just interesting that now we're seeing the National Guard is now, they're going to get the fucking screw put to them. Let's see what the Wall Street Journal says. The Pentagon has ordered the National Guard to create quick reaction forces in every state and territory by January that are trained and equipped to respond to riots and civil unrest within the U.S. Damn. This is coming from the Wall Street Journal right there. So, All right, let's go ahead and move into Trump orders nuclear weapons testing following Russian missile tests. And as you guys know, we did talk about this a little bit yesterday, but we are going to follow the story. That's what we do.
Within the past 24 hours, we've also learned that the Trump administration is considering, eyeballing, if you will, testing nuclear weapons. It's something that hasn't been...
No, I think they're actually going to do it. And I mean, the last time that we had tested, apparently, was 1992.
Done since the 90s, and it's something that I discussed with the Foundation for the Defense of Democracy's Andrea Stricker earlier today. Here's our segment. Take a look. We're hearing from Fox News Pentagon correspondent Jennifer Griffin about the idea of President Trump wanting the U.S. to start testing nuclear weapons again. This is something we brought you late last night when the story broke. She says the president says he wants the U.S. to start testing again, which would be in breach of comprehensive test ban treaty, and it would allow China and Russia to catch up. The U.S. has the most modern and the biggest nuclear arsenal, but Trump believes that China and Russia are cheating. Let's get the latest reporting from Fox News. Rebecca Castor filing this report.
I thought it was an amazing meeting. He's a great leader of a very powerful.
And we actually covered this exact thing that he's saying right here in this clip.
A very strong country, China.
President Donald Trump seemingly satisfied after a sit-down with Chinese President Xi Jinping, saying the U.S. is lowering tariffs on Chinese imports after they reached agreements on fentanyl, U.S. soybeans, and China's rare earth minerals. A much-needed de-escalation in their up-and-down trade war.
It is normal for the two leading economies of the world to have frictions now and then.
Sterling, I'm actually really glad that you said this. So I made a new graph. I think a lot of you guys may have saw it. I posted on YouTube post last night, and I posted it in my Discord. But nonetheless, I'll just show it anyways. So I made a new graph regarding gold versus the U.S. dollar purchasing power. Now, this was the original comparison, right? This is the first 4 months, 4.5 months of 2025, meaning, the down below line, the green line on here is our actual U.S. dollar buying power, and then gold's buying power, essentially, in value. And then I made this graph, which I couldn't make it to go into November because we haven't completed it, or into October. We haven't completed into October, I mean. So I wasn't able to get the next bar of this graph. But anyways, let me go ahead and take off this as well so you guys can see the notes that I have down there. So the way that I did this and organized this is I rebased both at 0% for January of 2025 on this graph. So yes, of course, they were never that close of value together, but that's why I rebased everything for 0%. And the latest that I could get on this information was September of 2025. And then every time that you see this uptick for the gold levels, that is what the monthly close of the markets are for gold. What the by the end of the week, Friday, of the last whatever, or whatever, the last day of the month, once it completes, whatever it closed at, that's what this is going off of. So be prepared, everybody. This is a high tail sign of hyperinflation like a motherfucker. Anytime that you see gold double in price anywhere, that is a high tail sign of hyperinflation. And it's happened quadruple times. I mean, it's happened so many fucking times for gold here. It's unreal.
I'm ready to continue working with you.
But tensions could escalate on a different front. Just before a sit-down with Xi, Trump posted this online. Because of other countries' testing programs, I've instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis.
If they're going to test, I guess we have to test.
North Korea is the only known country to test nuclear weapons over the past 2 decades. The U.S., China, and Russia all stopped in the 1990s. But last week, Russia tested a new long-range cruise missile capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Despite his order to the Pentagon, Trump is still advocating.
It's funny, Steve. I'm one of those super analytical people, so I also know what I need to make a graph 100% validated. You know what I mean? And for what I'm trying to explain. And Mr. Boulay and the Department of Numismatics coming in with the 10 spot, yo. Did someone say gold? Yes, sir. We definitely are talking about a little bit of gold and silver. That's right. I think that everything that I have said right now regarding gold and silver, you can go ahead and confirm. Very much appreciate you, kind sir. Thank you so much for the $10, my man. That goes a long fucking way.
For denuclearization.
It's something we are actually talking to Russia about that, and China would be added to that if we do.
What's up, brother Lee?
A Chinese spokesman.
Oh shit, we got 26 likes and 25 watching, but now it's 28 watching. Or 27, whatever. We got to get the likes up. Let's get it matched at least.
Urged the U.S. to refrain from any nuclear tests, while a Kremlin spokesman said if any country resumes warhead testing, Russia would respond accordingly. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And Andrea Stricker is here. She's a nuclear proliferation expert with the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. We just heard in Rebecca's piece that Russia and China are not...
You know what's funny, Lappy? Listen, man, everything that we give a shit about, with the exception of children, and I still don't understand this, why they don't do it, but anything that we ever give a shit about, gold, property, whatever the case is, we protect it with firearms. That's what we do, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Now, that's the one argument that I have for if I were to run in, for local here, I would love to be able to be like, listen, I want every single school to be able to have a protected guard, an armed guard. You know what I mean? But it's funny that we are so willing that everything that we give a shit about, we protect with firearms. Politicians, people, money, fucking property, all this shit. But as soon as we get to the kids, fuck them. They're not that important, I guess. Huh? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, dude? Absolutely. So protect everything with firearms.
Testing nuclear weapons. So is there any clarity on what that means for the U.S. if we're trying to catch up?
Great to be with you, Austin. There is not much clarity thus far from President Trump's post, nor from his follow-up comments to the media. It's unclear whether the U.S. intends to conduct something like low-yield nuclear testing of a few tons.
Well, I mean, I think you would have to do low-level testing of nuclear weapons. I mean, it's so gnarly that one nuke is, it is fucked. I don't know if you guys have seen the radiation ring of a nuclear bomb. It's fucking insane. Anyways, we've talked enough about this. Let's go ahead and move into delayed flights because of the government shutdown. Let's go ahead and bring this up.
I want you to take a look at what the board looks like right now here at the Orlando International
They are
Airport.
backed the fuck up.
Arrivals seem to be the target right now. You can see that delays are in yellow, in red is the canceled ones, and then everything else is just lit up like a Christmas tree.
What's up, brother Blair? Good morning. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far. Happy Halloween.
And then we move over to departures. It's also a handful of delays and cancellations.
Same to you, Hug Dog. Good morning.
A giant
Great to see you.
here. And then also, this could be because air traffic workers are just so fed up. They've missed their full first paycheck. The spokesperson for MCO says the average delay for flights arriving to MCO is 2.5 hours, and delays are because of the FAA staffing issues. The delays are causing travelers to simply be stuck sitting at the airports across the country. We spoke to one family here in Orlando. They have a wedding this weekend, and they say the problem is their family and friends are struggling to get here.
We are very, very upset.
That is hilarious, Steve. And yeah, I think that is an unpopular opinion because, in my opinion, I think that if the last time that we tested any type of nuclear weapon was in 1992, how are we so fucking sure this shit gonna work when we actually need to, let it go, So, I don't know, man. Like, I come from boating and shit, just like you do as well, Steve. And everything is maintenance. Everything. It's and that's the same thing with our arsenal. I mean, they go and they maintain this shit. Now, I'd like to be able to know a little bit better, like, hey, this shit's been tested. We know exactly what it's going to do. We get more statistics out of it. But yeah, anyways.
My sister left Detroit en route to Orlando.
What's up, Ron Roddy?
That plane was
from
diverted
Australia?
From
Good morning.
Chicago to Kentucky, which was not on the itinerary. And they took it to Kentucky because they said the Orlando International Airport was all the air traffic controllers went home. They left.
True, Pablo.
All delays, cancellation, it's just giant mess. And if you're planning on traveling today, you want to make sure that you check your flight status. Also for these air traffic controllers, they're also super fed up with the situation. They just want to know when the government shutdown is going to be over. They are mandated to start working even though there is a government shutdown.
The government don't even know when it's going to be over.
But we're told from pilots that they're actually using their sick days because they just don't want to be here if they're not getting paid. Reporting at MCO, Amanda Ruiz, Fox 35 News.
All right.
Great. Thank you, Amanda. We appreciate your reporting here this morning. We're going to take you out to that live look there at MCO. As you can see, that camera shot right now. We've been following a lot of...
Well, it's going to be fucked, definitely. Major flight delays are being seen nationwide as the government shutdown enters day 31. On Thursday, Vice President Vance and Transportation Secretary Duffy warned that Thanksgiving travel could be a disaster, and just last night, at least 15 JetBlue passengers were injured in an emergency landing. Wow, that's fucking terrible. Let me see if they actually talk about that at all. I don't think they do. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move into, we have an interesting thing that just came out 26 minutes ago. FBI thwarts attack tied to terrorism. So they're preventing some sort of terroristic attack. So, and FBI is making the claim. Let's go ahead and figure this out together.
All throughout the last couple of hours, we have been following all of the latest information here on the FBI saying that a terror attack has been thwarted there over in Michigan. And we now have some new details that are coming in from Fox News.
Real quick, because I was yapping my mouth off and focused too much on this news shit, I missed that we got Cash App from freaking my boy, Brotherly Lance. I appreciate it. Sending in $2 saying much love, honor, and respect. I very much appreciate you. Dues are paid, kind sir. Thank you for making it rain. Yes, sir. Sending them out.
Take you out to the location here. This is actually over in Detroit. The situation itself, though, unfolding nearby over in Dearborn. Now, we've learned that the arrests the FBI announced in Michigan related to that potential attack planned over Halloween weekend are tied to international terrorism. Now, a top federal law enforcement source telling that to Fox News just moments ago. If you're not familiar with the story itself, I do want to pop this up on your screen. This is a post.
Which one, Zip Tie? The last one I see is from Mr. Boulay. That's the last one I see. Am I missing something?
From FBI Director Kash Patel that he put out a bit earlier on this morning. He said this morning the FBI thwarted a potential terrorist attack and arrested multiple subjects in Michigan who are allegedly plotting a violent attack over Halloween weekend. More details to come thanks to the men and women of FBI and law enforcement everywhere standing guard 24/7 and crushing our mission.
So multiple subjects? I mean, I'd like to know how many. Why didn't you just say the exact amount of people that you did arrest? Why say multiple when you could give out the exact number? Let me see if it says it down here. Let's see here. Multiple subjects. No, it says multiple subjects in Michigan were allegedly plotting a violent attack over Halloween weekend. More details to come. Unfortunately, we don't have any more information
to defend the homeland. We also heard from Deputy Director there, Dan Bongino, who said protecting the homeland is our top priority. We will not rest. Again, that is Dan Bongino posting that on social media. Now, we don't have any more information, as I mentioned here, because the FBI and state police vehicles were in a neighborhood near Fordson High School in Dearborn, and an investigator was seen walking out of a house, grabbing some items from an FBI evidence truck and returning inside. But Dearborn police only saying in a social media post that it was aware that the FBI was conducting operations in the city and assured residents that there was no threat to the community. A message seeking comment from any kind of...
Okay, so real interesting here. We have Mamdani taking questions or making some sort of comment here. We're going to see here in a second. But real quick, we got K2, keep on trucking, send F Dearborn Heights, take it back. Yes, sir. Thank you for making it rain. Very much appreciate you. And no, you're all good, Zip Tie. Don't worry about it. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and bring this up. And we're also going to see something about the Supreme Court and Trump's tariffs. And we'll see here together here in a sec. This is live right now, so.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. Once again, taking a live look here at Air Force One. As you can see, President Trump is on board. He's going to be departing here for Palm Beach County, Florida. That's going to happen in just a matter of seconds.
Wow. So it's just happening right now.
Not clear if he's going to talk to members of the media here, but if he does, we're going to bring that to you on Live Now from Fox, as we always do. Right now, we do have Zoran Mamdani, who is speaking to reporters over in New York. I just want to pop up the audio for a bit so we can listen in.
Here we go.
How many days? I wiped out 5, I wrote in 4, and this was such a beautiful opportunity to both speak to seniors in our city, see what it is.
Oh my God. See, Gotta love these people that always appeal to emotion. Always.
That provides them with a life where they continue to be celebrated and cherished, and also that these same seniors are the ones facing so many of the pressures of the affordability crisis. And we had an opportunity to not only do Tai Chi, to not only try and keep up with the seniors who are dancing, but also to make
what a political theater that it truly is.
The case that now is the time to deliver an affordability agenda for seniors who are being pushed out of the city they call home.
Andrew. Eric Adams today added money to the budget, which would hire 5,000 more police officers and bring the headcount up to 40,000. Would you commit to keeping that level, and do you think what the mayor's doing is essentially daring you to cut the police department?
I think that Eric Adams continues to be exactly the mayor that we thought he was. He's one who's very interested in the work of delivering results for New Yorkers and far more in the theater of the politics around this race. I have said time and again that I believe
he's moving around so fucking much that he's hitting the fucking microphones and shit.
Have the right number of police officers. We have budgeted about 35,000 head count in the NYPD. Eric Adams cannot actually hire enough officers that he actually has the money to do so. And so then now to say that instead of being able to hit his previous mark of 35, he's going to now try and hit 40, we know what New Yorkers are actually cared about. It's not a question of head count, it's a question of safety. And that's exactly what I'm going to deliver in retaining Commissioner Tisch, in creating a Department of Community Safety, and finally ensuring that we live up to the words that Eric Adams has himself said 4 years ago.
I can't even believe that he's getting enough attention that's positive in his world, being able to get, voted in, whatever. Even having the discussion is crazy. Bro, are you serious?
That New Yorkers need not choose between safety.
I can't believe people are fucking falling for this trap. And if it happens in New York, it'll happen in all the other cities too.
Justice.
Yeah, Laura. Soren, I want to ask you about...
Oh shit, Agrippa's coming in and dropping it like it's fucking hot. I very much appreciate that, kind sir. Thank you. A big W to you. Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you are enjoying your Friday as well as your, Halloween. Great to see you in the chat, man. Thank you for that.
All right, the audio not the best there, but we did want to dip in as we're hearing from Zoran Mamdani. We, of course, have been covering each and every one of the candidates here for New York City mayor, and we're going to continue to do so on Live Now from Fox. Join us on election night. That is Tuesday night. The second those results come in, we will have them for you right here on Live Now from Fox. Once again, you are taking a lot.
Shit, real quick, we got Mr. Boulay coming in with the... fucking becoming a member. Yo, that is a huge honor. Let's go. My man, thank you so much for making it rain in here and becoming a member, man. Make sure you guys show up. Anybody that got a membership from Agrillapis and also Mr. Boulay, make sure you guys show up Saturday mornings, every single Saturday at 10 in the morning. We have our members only live stream where we get to be quite a bit uncensored and, some things are serious topics on there, but really we try to have a good time. You know what I mean? We talk about some serious shit Monday through Friday. It's nice to be able to blow off some steam on Saturday, But thank you, Mr. Boulay, for that.
Look at this hour as Air Force One is departing there, heading for Palm Beach County, Florida, with President Trump on board. Not quite clear just yet if we will get him speaking with reporters, but if we do, we will bring that to you in full, commercial-free, as we always do here on Live Now from Fox. In the meantime, the Supreme Court is set to take on President Trump's tariffs, but the question...
So remember, that's what I was telling you guys. There was something regards to Supreme Court taking up Trump's tariffs. Here it is.
What does this all actually mean? I do want to bring in Darren Botello with Fox Business Network, joining us live to talk more about all of that. Darren, thank you so much for being here. A lot of questions about what this means and what to expect.
Yeah, and the week after that, Steve, and the week after that, the month after that, the year after that. Absolutely, I get you.
Hey, good morning,
Every
Josh.
other day.
Like you were just showing with Air Force One, the president is back in the U.S. after that overseas trip to Asia, securing some big wins, some trade deals with Malaysia and Cambodia. But this is setting the stage for what could...
And some trade deals with South Korea, too.
Possibly happen here at the Supreme Court next week.
Can't forget that. I mean, South Korea just threw in another $350 billion.
We could possibly see a rollback of those big wins and those executive powers, his tariff powers, really put to the test. Let's talk about, Josh, what's really at stake here, because there's a lot at stake. We're talking...
What's up, Brother Bob? Up there in Canada, always appreciate, my man. Hopefully you're enjoying your Friday as well as your Halloween.
Tens of billions of dollars in tariffs. They're all at stake, and there could be a refund if the Supreme Court rules the tariffs are illegal. So according to the latest monthly Treasury statement, the federal government raised over $200 billion in gross revenue in fiscal year 2025. That's a 142.
Oh, that's a big W for the chat. Steve Posey comes in, lets us know. We got 35 likes and 24, whatever it is. Good job to everybody. W's. Yes, sir. Very much appreciate you guys hitting that like button, man. It goes a long way.
Percent increase from the year before. Here's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent talking about what could happen next.
So this is what the U.S. has made from tariffs so far, is $202 billion.
If the Supreme Court does rule against these tariffs.
The idea that that negotiating leverage could be taken away from the President of the United States, because I tell you, it would have been a mess if this rare earth regime had gone in, could have caused substantial single-digit decline in GDP, massive job losses across the country. So I am sure that SCOTUS will take this into account as they are doing this.
I noticed that. I was actually in there, Joseph, but that's absolutely right. Go check it out. He did a fantastic interview last night. That's right.
And Josh, of course, this case really puts the president's executive power to the test.
That's right, Sterling. 38 trillion, bud.
Like I said, after a coalition of small businesses and even some states, Josh, say that Trump is overreaching by using the International Emergency Economic Powers Act for these tariffs.
If we are not allowed to use what other people use against us, there's no defense.
Yeah, exactly. He is right. You should use it more on a defensive tactic, but he does use it more of on a geopolitical level for influence. There's one thing of defending. If they're attacking us, we can put it back on them. Yes, but and that's why I'm glad that it has come to a little bit of stabilization regarding the tariffs. And I mean, even seeing that the tariffs that were on China was 57%, and now it's dropped down 10% to 47%. That's a good sign.
It'd be a disaster for America. That's why I think I'm going to go to the Supreme Court to watch it. I've not done that, and I had some pretty big cases. I think it's one of the most important cases ever brought, because we will be defenseless against the world.
And Josh, like you just heard...
Yeah, Steve, and what's crazy is Trump is going to figure out exactly which four that was.
The president said he could possibly end up coming here to the Supreme Court. If he did so, he'd be the first sitting president in history to watch the oral argument in person. Josh?
And I did want to ask you, Darren, before I let you go here, do we have an actual timetable on how long all of this could potentially take to go through the Supreme Court? And also, again, kind of what happens next?
My man, a grill piss. Always
well, Josh,
appreciate
the
you.
oral argument is next Wednesday, but as you know, the Supreme Court, they take their time. There's no time frame. They have to actually give a decision.
All right. Darren Botello, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We definitely appreciate it as always.
Oh, man. That's going to be rough, Tiffany.
And I do want to take you out live right now. This is actually over in Dearborn, Michigan. You can see we have this live image now coming in. This is actually right outside of Detroit, where we have the FBI saying that they have thwarted some kind of terrorist.
Yep, that's right. We just actually covered that, which is phenomenal. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and see who's live right now. And we can send you guys off to on a raid, because we have met our hour, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we have. See who's live right now. I'm scrolling through. I thought, oh, Sick Bastard, there he is. Wait, isn't Carney live too? I don't see Carney's side. I don't know why. Oh, maybe he's not. I don't know, but nonetheless, we'll send you guys over to Sick Bastard and stick around for that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys again very much for being here. I can't do this shit without you guys. Nonetheless, I hope that you guys enjoyed this week of coverage. We will be back with more of the news coverage, of course, on YouTube specifically. We'll be on Monday morning as we normally do. But tomorrow morning is going to be members only, guys. So make sure if you guys are a member, stick around. We're going to have a great-ass time for members only tomorrow. It's going to be uncensored. That's what we do. And, yeah, so, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, much love, honor, respect, everybody. Stick around for that raid. Hit that like button on the way out and hit the like button on his on the way in. You know what I mean? So, all right. Much love, honor, respect, everybody. God bless.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar.